Welcome to segment 11 of the Loving Relationships training. We will begin to discuss the new paradigm in relationships. And in this segment today, Sondra will discuss self-esteem and how to find your ideal partner. You don't have to be alone, and you don't have to be in a bad relationship. For those of you who are in a relationship and want to improve it, this segment is for you. For those of you who are not in a relationship and want to attract your ideal partner, this segment is for you. Thank you for joining us in this segment on the new paradigm for relationships, self-esteem, and attracting your ideal partner.
Welcome again. This is section 11 of these videos, and I'm so excited to have you here. And we're going to be talking about the new paradigm in relationships. So this is such an interesting topic. I know you're going to love it. So the first thing I want you to do is write down my most negative thought about intimate relationships and see what you get. Some people have a thought relationships are painful. Some people have a thought relationships are dangerous. So you really need to know what this thought is, because whatever you believe to be true, you create. And if you think, well, relationships always end, then that's what you're going to create. So it's important that you change this thought to the opposite. Even if you don't believe the new affirmation, which is the opposite of your most negative thought, you need to reprogram yourself. So what is the new paradigm in relationships? The new paradigm is the paradigm of joy and holy relationships. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. But it starts with total self-esteem. You have to really love yourself in order to let other people love you. Now, self-esteem is so important that I recommend you really think about this. How would you rate yourself on self-esteem 0 to 10? 10 would be total self-esteem, 0 is none. What number would you give yourself? Self-esteem means you believe in yourself, you trust yourself, you like yourself, and you believe people can love you. And you believe you deserve all the good things, and you believe you're a good person. If you need help in this area, I recommend you type in the Google, what is self-esteem? A psychologist explains. It's a very good article, and it will really get you clear if you're on the right track with this. If you love yourself, then you will give others the opportunity to love you, because you will think you deserve it. So this is why it's so important that this idea of new paradigm starts with self-esteem. Loving from need does not work. We say where need ends, true love begins. People don't like to be with others that are really needy. So people with low self-esteem happen to be needy. People with high self-esteem aren't needy. So this is a simple formula. Give up neediness. If you have high self-esteem, you will attract others who have high self-esteem. Two people who have high self-esteem can handle an intimate relationship because love is not a threat for them. People with low self-esteem find love to be a threat. They worry, well, what if this person leaves me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't do the right thing in this person's presence? What if he disapproves of me? And all those kinds of thoughts, then love becomes a threat. So we recommend you say the following affirmation. Even though I made a mistake, I still completely love and accept myself. This is really good because then you don't judge yourself and you forgive yourself right away and you don't go into guilt. We had an experience once when we had to go to court because Marcus wanted to change his name. And the courtroom was very full and we were in the back. And we waited and waited. And then the judge closed the books. And he looked up and he saw us and he said, well, what are you guys doing here? And Marcus said, well, I came for my name change. So the judge asked us, what was the day you were supposed to be here? And we said, the 30th. And he said, yeah, but this is the 29th. And we thought, oh no, we made a mistake. And then I suddenly said out loud, even though we made a mistake, we still completely love and accept ourselves. You know, it just came out of me, and I think the judge thought that was really interesting. And you know what he did? He said, oh, don't worry, I'll go get some papers and we'll get you in anyway, even though it's the wrong day. So now we're going to talk about looking for a mate. If you're looking for a mate and you have low self-esteem, then you're going to have this desperate feeling that it's not going to happen. You're going to be worried. You're going to be fearful. You might be afraid that nobody will come. And all of this shrinks your aura. You cannot attract someone when your aura is shrinking. You might have a thought, well, I'm alone. That could be your personal lie. Or I'm not enough. And these thoughts would prevent you from attracting someone. So to attract a mate, you have to have an aura that's radiating out there. Don't forget that. That's how you attract mates. Your aura has to be radiating, not shrinking. Low self-esteem people have a shrinking aura. High self-esteem people have a radiant aura. And it's really important you get this. Okay, now we're going to talk about the keys to finding a mate. The first key to finding a mate is not to need one in order to be happy. By the way, never marry someone who's unhappy. Don't think they're going to become happy when you get married, because marriage is so strong it brings up all your issues. The second key is to pray to God or the spiritual masters to make this happen. So you say to them, well, if I'm not ready, please make me ready. Now, we call this the cosmic dating service. You let the higher forces bring your mate, and they bring you the right mate. And it's so much easier than going to the bars or going online. You can do that if you want, but we recommend you try the cosmic dating service. Here's an example of the cosmic dating service. There was this lady that was in the insurance business, and she really wanted a mate. So she told God what she wanted, and she figured, God knows more single men than I do. So she turned it all over to God, and she really practiced the cosmic dating service in that moment. A man came through from another town, and he was in the same insurance company, but he was living in a different town. He went to the office, and he heard her name, and he suddenly lit up, and he asked for her phone number, and he called her up, and he actually said this, when I heard your name, I knew you were the one I was going to marry. So she invited him over, and he was the one. It can actually be that simple. The third key is you put your entire energy into your spiritual life and your service work. If you do that, then you will attract a spiritual person who can handle a holy relationship. And the new paradigm is a holy relationship, which I will explain later. I once read a book by Diane Fortuna called The Esoteric Laws of Love and Marriage. I'm just going to give you what I think is the important thing. She talks about there's 3 types of joining. Number 1, there's the sexual tie. Number 2, there's the karmic tie. Number 3, there's the cosmic tie. Okay. The sexual tie, everybody knows what that is. Oh, we had such great sex, I think we should get married. It's all about the lower chakras. Well, then there's the karmic tie, where you come together with people that you had past life karma with that you need to clear. You might have quite a few of those relationships, and they might not be too long. Never judge yourself if a relationship ends in a short time, like 2 years. Maybe that's all you're supposed to be with that person. I had to go through several of those karmic ties before I met my husband, Marcus. And I'm glad that I did, because I learned a lot and I completed things. Number 3 is the cosmic tie. This is the one I'm recommending to you. This is where you ask the masters and God to bring you someone with whom you can do service work. So what I did is I asked my Guru Babaji to bring me a man who would fit my mission. I was on a mission, and I obviously couldn't be with just anybody. I had to be with someone who could handle that mission and who could do it with me. So Babaji sent me Marcus, which was a miracle because we're both breath workers, we're both teachers of the Course in Miracles, we're both writers, we both study Ho'oponopono, which is Hawaiian spirituality. We have the exact same spiritual path, and we are serving together, and it's very beautiful and perfect. So that's what we call the cosmic tie, and of course, that's what I want for you. Okay, I'm going to recommend some books to read if you want to find a partner easily, and they do help you clear any blocks you might have that keep you from letting in a partner. The first one is called Love Will Find You by Catherine Alice. The second one is Calling in the One. The author is Catherine Woodward. The third one is called Finding Your True Love by Daphne Rose Kingma. That one really clears a lot of stuff that could be in the way. The fourth one is called Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks. And the fifth one is our book called Spiritual Intimacy. Of course, I really recommend that one. And I tell in there just how I found Marcus, what I did. I took some steps that really worked. And for example, I went out and bought 4 gifts for a man and I wrapped them up. I didn't know who I was buying them for, but I bought a Brooks Brothers shirt, a wallet, a cologne, and a white gold ring, and it happens to fit Marcus perfect, if you can believe it. So then I wrapped these gifts up, and my roommates thought I was crazy. I said, no, I have to make it more real. Okay, then nobody still came. So I thought, okay, I must be blocked. Then I started doing a mantra. This mantra is actually in that book, Spiritual Intimacy. Then finally what I did is I wrote letters to my beloved. I didn't know who I was writing to, but I kind of pretended that he was already here. So I would say, Dear Beloved, and I would share what I was feeling and so on. And I saved 10 of these letters, and when Marcus came, he read them, and we laughed and laughed and laughed. They were so funny. But it worked. So in summary, I talked about raising your self-esteem as the first point, and this will help your aura radiate out there so you can attract someone. And the second thing I talked about was the cosmic dating service, where you ask God or the spiritual masters to bring you your ideal mate. And you say, if I'm not ready, God, make me ready. And you have to have a lot of faith. The third thing I talked about are books that will help you prepare yourself to let in your ideal mate. And they're all very good. And I am sure if you read those, you won't have a problem. If you do all of these things and you still don't have a mate, then you need a private liberation breathing session and we'll help you. Thank you so much for joining us today, and in the next section, we will talk about what exactly is a new paradigm relationship.